I've been thinking a lot recently, and those thoughts always come back to Invincible began serialization in Image Comics January 2003. Jesus Christ! I love superheroes, and I love Invincible. Point blank. The character's world and story, despite being constant homage to comics that came before it, is one of the most compelling and well-written I've seen in years. People love to poke holes in the quality of the show by saying, oh, the animation sucks, or Mark never wins a fight, or I wish Omni-Man would put his Omni cheeks on my face. Wait, who wrote that in my script? Honestly, I could care less. Invincible's plot and characters are so layered and complex, it's a miracle that Robert Kirkman was able to juggle these insane plot lines with all these characters. Mark, Nolan, Eve, Cecil, Alan, Debbie, Angstrom, Conquest, Robot, Rex, the Maulers, fuck it, Machine Head, I love that guy.
Almost feels like cheating. But I like cheating.
But when I'm watching Invincible, I'm just engaged in what's happening in the now. I'm constantly invested in how the story and characters will develop, which weirdly enough was not always the case. When Invincible was announced, I didn't really think much of it. I thought it just kind of looked like another generic Young Justice type of show. But then again, I wasn't really familiar with the comics, so... But then season 1 dropped and my world was different. Characters are always expositing interesting and amazingly performed dialogue.
Peeing your pants on purpose.
What?
Stephen Yeun is a standout in the cast.
I love you, Steve!
He not only captures Mark perfectly, but he also voices 18 other Invincibles and manages to make them all sound unique with distinct characteristics. The action is explosive, dynamic, and bloody as hell. The world is so immersive and grounded despite being littered with comic book archetypes. When I look at Invincible, I see Mark Grayson, the person who has been through some shit. Man, Mark is genuinely the perfect character to guide us through a story. I really love him, breaking into my top 3 favorite superheroes of all time despite me never even hearing of him before the show came out. It's kinda hard to put into words why exactly I love him so much, but I think it boils down to Mark is targeted to people like me. People who are young and still trying to get their shit together, frantically trying to figure out what to do with all this new responsibility. But Mark is pretty obviously an analogy for being young and taking on the world thinking you're and the consequences and responsibility of actually being. Okay, the bit's over. I'm not gonna do that the whole... Think about it like this. You're young, bright-eyed, and ready to follow your dreams and live life to the fullest, but look out. Boom, paying rent. Boom, finding a job. Boom, maintaining relationships. Boom, taking care of yourself. Boom, taxes. Seriously, how the fuck do I pay my taxes? I haven't paid them in years and I'm starting to... Hello? But no matter how many times Mark is beaten half to death, his will to keep fighting and defend the ones he loves is what makes him invincible. It doesn't always look the same though. Mark has been on a long, painful, tearful, and bloody journey. Starting off more idealistic and determined to be the hero he should be, but now after being dragged through the dirt and having his ideals tested time and time again, he's become nearly unrecognizable from who he was day one, becoming the hero he thinks he needs to be. And not that it's unjustified, but it's just a bit disappointing seeing Mark throw away his no-kill rule because we know he can be better. There's just so many angles to his character that could be explored on their own. Him being the son of the most powerful hero on Earth who turned out to be one of the worst things to happen to Earth. His inner conflict of whether he should kill or not. Him being the only version of himself where he's not a murderous piece of shit. His balancing of heroism in life. Him desperately not wanting to become his father despite being pushed into taking a life. Mark is pushed to the limit pretty consistently, so he is constantly developing and changing as a result of his circumstances. Overall, Mark is just a great character, but it helps that he's supported by his amazing cast. Characters like Nolan, Debbie, Eve, Oliver, and Alan all give new depth to Mark's character while still being entertaining and interesting at the same time. All of them having fleshed out subplots and in some cases entire arcs. Nolan is such an interesting character. I honestly don't know if I can say he can be be redeemed. Like, he seriously did some horrendously fucked up shit, but that is the driving force behind his character arc. I think it's pretty obvious we're getting some kind of Omni-Man redemption arc, and he'll probably die a hero, and it'll probably be great, and I'll definitely cry. But that's the question that makes his arc so compelling. Should he be allowed to be redeemed? Should he be forgiven for the lives he took since he thought he was doing the right thing? Just doing what he believed in. Just like you. Eve is just great. I wish they gave her more interesting shit to do other than fight with her parents, but she still has plenty of time to shine. We did get a lot of Eve in season 3, but most of that was just devoted to her relationship with Mark, which I will say was a bit sudden. I mean, we all knew it was coming, and it was about time, but it still kind of feels dropped on us, especially after the end of season 2. Anyways, more Eve. Eve is great. I love you, Gillian Jacobs.
I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty.
You can excuse racism.
Speaking of season 3, Oliver is kind of a weird addition to the show, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Oliver, but the idea behind his character is a little weird. Like, Kirkman just needed an idea for that month's issue and pulled Invincible has a half-alien brother who's part grasshopper and Superman out of his ass. Oh, and he ages super fast, so we can just skip to the interesting part where he can actually talk so we can cast another famous person to voice him. And he's just kind of hang around and sometimes get in the way. But like, seriously, Rob, did you really need to give Invincible a Robin? Oh, and he's purple! Anyways, love Oliver. Alan isn't really the most complex, he's just fun. I like Alan. He works well with every character, he's funny, Seth Rogen kills it, no notes. Okay, I'm gonna say something slightly controversial, so please don't hold my face in front of an oncoming train and force me to unwittingly commit homicide. I think Rex is overrated a bit.
What the fuck?
I've never disliked him, but I was never too invested in him and his character arc. I'm gonna say it, I like the old Rex more. He was absolutely a shittier person, but he was much more well-defined and entertaining than this comedically neutered spaghettio scared to say anything that would dare offend his bestest buddies. This constant bit of him being like, oh, I shouldn't say that, that was the old me, is so overdone and needless. You don't need to keep reminding us that you're a better person. Just do it. Whatever, I don't want to talk about Rex anymore. I have plans next weekend and I won't be able to fend off the mobs if I keep going. I think Angstrom Levy is actually super underrated, and Sterling K. Brown is insane as this character. His delivery is next level.
I killed you!
No, you didn't!
A pacifist who wanted to use his power for good, scarred and deformed by the hero who's murdered his alternate selves. I don't really get people who think Angstrom is dumb for attacking the only good Mark, but it's pretty simple. All the other Marks are evil, and this Mark turned him into
walking PSA for cerebral edema.
Albeit by accident, but you know, tends to stick. People always shit on the Immortal for sucking ass, which isn't incorrect. Having a -4 KD is crazy work. But Black Samson is textbook fucking useless. He's actually never won a fight and never does anything plot relevant. Sorry, I know that's a weird aside, but this guy just talks so much shit, man. The Mauler twins are such a fun concept. Cecil is amazing. Donald is great. It goes on and on. All of these characters interacting and clashing make for so many series-defining moments. Mark learning to fly and training with his dad. Nolan telling Mark the truth. Mark and Nolan reuniting after their fight. The Guardians saving the missile base where Rex gets shot. Mark versus Anissa. Mark versus Angstrom. Cecil and Mark's conflict. Mark and Eve finally getting together. Nolan and Alan breaking out of jail. Mark versus Powerplex. The Invincible War. Just the whole thing. And Mark versus Conquest. All these moments are so amazingly directed and hold such dramatic weight and tension, making them super impactful and fun to watch. Explosive and earth-shaking fights drenched in blood and broken bones, as well as small, quieter moments full of heartbreak and personal development. The season 1 finale is one of my favorite episodes of television ever. Mark's reaction to the truth and Stephen Yeun's and J.K. Simmons' performances are so enthralling and devastating. So many lines in this episode hit like a truck.
Don't do this! It's not too late!
Yes, it is.
I'll stop you.
I'm ready when you are. What will you have after 500 years?
You, God. I still have you.
The entire sequence of Mark and Nolan's battle is just so captivating, watching the dance of the characters and the carnage left in their wake. Conquest and Mark didn't have a pre-existing relationship, but their plot-driven clash is just as compelling and entertaining. It's insane how well they managed to flesh out Conquest's character in just one episode. I feel like I have a perfect understanding of his character, and he has less screen time than Shapesmith. I do think he should have just died, though. It was kind of really stupid of Cecil to keep him alive, but that's just who he is as a character, I guess. Damn it, Kirkman! Having him suddenly appear after one of the greatest tragedies to hit Earth is such an insane, risky thing to do with the plot, and I think it really paid off. It's kind of fucked up, but I think this scene of a young adult headbutting a 6,000-year-old alien warrior god to death is weirdly kind of beautiful. Another instance where Mark's limits have been tested, and I think we're starting to see some irreparable change in Mark. It's hard to describe exactly why I love this show so much. It's just a feeling. An electric feeling. A feeling so free, so inspiring, so devastating, so human. It has its rough edges, but I truly believe it is one of the greatest shows of recent time, and you should probably watch it if you somehow haven't. Even though so much has happened in these last 3 seasons, I know there's still plenty of crazy stuff to see, and I cannot wait. Invincible is just an unreal experience and a modern superhero epic. Invincible is incredible. Hey, thanks for watching my dumb video about Invincible. If I sound tired, it's because I am. I just wanted to tease my next video. It's about a video game, and I think this game has genuinely become a new vice, but without further ado, here it is. I don't know when it's coming out. Subscribe!